seems steamed up about something.
I saw it again this morning.
You mean your monster?
That's right.
Well, what's it look like?
Well, it was sort of misty on the cove again.
Ah.
But this time, I took pictures of it. And I've got those pictures right here in the camera. And I'm going to be able to describe it to you better when I get these pictures developed. And I can study them.
Yeah. Oh, Henry, yeah. I'd like to see those pictures after they're developed.
All right.
Then I suppose everybody in town would, huh?
Well, they're going to get a chance to, because I'm going to take these pictures to the newspaper office and see if they can put them in tonight's edition. Right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Tony.
Wonderful world of Disney. Strange monster of Strawberry Cove.
And in their study of early life, archaeologists have discovered evidences of huge prehistoric animals that lived on this earth many, many years ago. Now, these are sketches of what these animals must have looked like, these amphibians, which are animals that lived in the water during a period called the Triassic Age. Yes, yes, Tippy.
Were they as big as elephants?
Elephants? Oh, some of them were a great deal bigger. Now, this was called the Mastodonsaurus. This was the Platyosaurus. And this was a Synagnopus. Don't worry, you won't have to remember those names for the test.
They sure look scary.
Yes, but you needn't be frightened, because these animals disappeared from the Earth, 200 million years ago. Now, I've always been fascinated by these animals. You know, some of them were bigger than buildings. But we'll go into that more tomorrow. Right now, what I'd like to do is to have one of you, yes, we have time, one of you read a poem. I hope you've all done your homework. What about you, Catfish? I mean, Wilbur. Would you like to? All right. Now stand up. Come up here. Face the class.
Toads by...
Wilbur, speak clearly.
Toads by Wilbur Merkins. Toads are animals that live in weeds, eat a lot of bugs. They don't like seeds. Seeds is another thing I can think of rhyme with weeds.
Of course. Very good. Proceed.
Some people think frogs are toads, but they're not, because they're frogs. Girls aren't very good sports. They don't like toads, because they're afraid to get warts.
Very good. Just a moment. Before you go, I want to remind all of you of our outing this weekend at Strawberry Cove. Now, all of you know Mrs. Pringle. Mrs. Pringle is president of the Calliope Bay Birdwatchers Society. Now, Mrs. Pringle has asked to go with us. She wants to help us identify any birds that we might come across. All right, class dismissed. Wilbur. Don't forget, see. Yeah, he's all right. Here.
Thank you, Mr. Meade.
That's all right.
think we are? Soldiers or something? Yeah, bet you she was in the army.
Mr. Meade,
Yes, ma'am.
I do believe that's the mating call of the rather rare butterbill coot. It's very similar to our dear feathered quilltail coot.
Afraid I couldn't tell the difference, Miss Pringle.
Well, their mating calls are very much alike. It requires a trained ear and several years of careful study to tell them apart.
Yeah, well, doesn't surprise me.
Sounds like an old buzzard to me.
Young man.
Maybe we better be on our way.
Very well. Here. Get back in line. Back in line. Members of the Woodcraft Club, forward, march.
Where are those stones? Ah, there they are. Put that there. Ah, now we're all set for a fine warm fire tonight.
Are you going to tell us another scary story like last time?
I might manage to remember one. But right now, get ready for the hike. Everybody.
First, I think we better arrange our sleeping bags.
I'd rather go on a hike.
The young ladies over there with me, and the boys over here with you, Mr. Meade.
I suggest to choose the highest ground to keep the dampness out.
There's that dear bird again.
Huh?
Would you mind, Mr. Meade?
Yes.
Would you mind postponing our hike for just a few minutes?
Oh?
That's very sweet of you. I know the children will be terribly thrilled to see a butterbill coot.
How are you going to get him here?
Well, we'll just pretend I'm his mate. Now, where did I put that call? There, you see?
Betsy Nichols, don't be a buzzard.
It shan't be long.
It's a buzzard!
Start the hike.
Told ya.
Young man, just what are you doing?
I betted him and Nichols be a buzzard.
Your bad manners are exceeded only by your bad grammar.
Yes, Scott! What do you want? Something's crawling on me. Oh, you're just imagining things. No, but I can feel them. Lots of them. Will you go back to sleep? Meow! They're really alive. What? Ants. Millions of them. Look. Dopey, did you have to put your sleeping bag on an anthill? How'd I know it was an anthill? Only sleeping on high ground, like Mr. Meade said.
Boys, you'll have to be quiet. We don't want to wake up Mrs. Pringle and the rest of the children.
Just have to move my sleeping bag, Mr. Meade. Ants.
I see. All right, Wilbur, but quiet.
Yes, sir. Scott, come on down.
Pringle. Miss Pringle, wake up.
What?
Mrs. Pringle.
What is it? What?
Mrs. Pringle. Mrs. Pringle, come here.
Mr. Meade, what on earth? What?
I don't want to frighten the children,
What?
but I saw something very strange
What?
down at the cove.
What?
Shh, come and see.
What?
Come and see for yourself.
What'd you see?
Shh, come on.
Oh, well, where's...
What is it?
Quiet, follow me.
Where?
Follow me.
Oh, noodle crunch.
Where are you going?
Now it's nothing. Nothing at all. Now go on back to sleep. Back to sleep. Come on. Back, huh? Back to sleep. Go on.
Come on, you guys. Let's just go on. Let's follow him.
It's gone.
What's gone?
Well, I know this is going to be very hard to believe, but I just saw a huge, big sea monster
Where?
out there on
I
that.
don't see any
on that
monsters.
cove.
Oh, no. I don't want to stay here. I'm scared of monsters.
Really, Mr. Meade.
Yes, Mrs. Pringle. I promise you, I saw it.
And where is your monster now?
Maybe he drowned it.
Oh, not likely, Wilbur.
It's like that Mastobono. Source you saw?
Mastodonsaurus?
Yeah.
No, not exactly. But it was very like the Platyosaurus. Very like the Platyos.
Oh, enough of your foolishness. Come on, let's go back to our sleeping bags.
I want to go home.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Meade was just playing a joke on us, darling.
This was no joke, Mrs. Pringle, I assure you.
It's obvious you suffered an hallucination. Now, I don't think it's right for you to frighten the children this way.
Heck, we ain't scared. Are we, Catfish?
No, young man, I don't suppose you would be. Now, come on.
Please.
Let's all go back, huh? Enough of this, enough of this. Come on, let's go.
You know, I don't think she likes me. Where's the monster now, Miss Pringle?
That's all right. Everything is going to be just fine.
Do you
We'll
think you
take
really
care of
did see a monster?
Come on. It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Easy, not too hard. Okay, that's good. Undo the tarp and start unloading that stuff. I'm gonna go see the boss.
I always thought there was something strange about that man. If you could have seen how he frightened the children with that ridiculous story about seeing a monster. There he is now.
Well, Henry,
John?
get you some coffee?
Oh, yes, thank you. Mrs. Pringle didn't waste much time, did she?
Well, she's been halfway around town by now. Tongue wagging, mile a minute.
Thank you.
There you go. Cream?
No. John, what do you think about what I saw?
Well, I don't doubt that you saw something out there in the cove, but a sea monster. You know, the mist around that cove can sometimes play strange tricks on the mind.
It wasn't the mist, John. And you've got to believe that there is a possibility of a logical explanation for all this. Now, reports of immense reptile-like creatures have been published in all the leading scientific journals. My feeling is that I've seen...
Henry, now, you and I have been friends ever since I moved here to Calliope Bay. I just hope you're not going to be offended by what I'm going to say.
Of course not.
I'm sure that you did see something out there. But how are you going to convince anyone else? I mean, talk going around is that your story isn't very, well, rational. Henry, you should go down to the newspaper and have them print a retraction. That would put an end to all this talk that's going around.
I just wouldn't be honest with myself.
Whatever you think is right, Henry.
Well, good afternoon, Henry. George.
John,
Mr. Mayor.
I've been looking all over town for you.
Me?
Yes. Just coffee, please,
Oh,
John.
sure.
I've heard those stories that have been circulating around town today.
Oh?
Frankly, I didn't pay too much attention to them at first, but now, oh, thank you
On
very
the
much.
house.
Thank
you
you.
boys excuse me. I got some checking to do in the stockroom, huh?
Now, a more serious side of the situation has developed.
I don't understand.
I'm not going to beat around the bush.
No, please don't.
Apparently, some of those children were pretty badly frightened with your story about a sea monster. Most of the parents say the same thing. They feel that a man who is getting along in years and who suffers from these illusions might not be fit to teach their children.
It wasn't an illusion, George. I'm almost certain of that. I was trying to tell John about authenticated articles which describe similar animals being sighted in various other parts of the world. Now, my feeling is...
I can't argue that with you, Henry. But as mayor, you must understand that I have to listen to all sides. Now, Mrs. Pringle has organized a parents' committee. They're meeting at my house tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'd like for you to be there, and we can all discuss this situation further.
Mrs. Pringle.
Recommend. RECCOMMEND. Recommend. That right, Mr. Meade?
Sorry. I must have been thinking of something else. Would you spell it once more, please?
Yes, sir. Recommend. RECCOMMEND. Recommend.
There's only one C. Now, you try to remember that, Scott, because it is a word that we're very likely to have on the test.
Yes, sir.
Now, children, I'm going to dismiss the class early today. And for your homework, I suggest that you concentrate on your term compositions. Dismiss.
Mr. Meade looks awful sad. Maybe if we talk to him, we could cheer him up. Yeah, wait a minute. What do we say? Come on, we'll think of something.
Yes, children?
We were wondering if you were feeling sick or something.
No, I just feel a little tired today, that's all.
You're sad about what people are saying, aren't you?
Yes, I think that's partly true. I even heard a few rumors about how I was supposed to be a little touched in the head.
I think it's mean for people to talk like that. Yeah. How do they know there ain't a monster at the cove?
Isn't, Wilbur, not ain't.
They're just shoving to confusions. I believe you, Mr. Meade.
Thank you, Tippy.
Scott and Catfish, they believe you, too. Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, let's not talk about monsters anymore. How are your compositions coming along? What subject did you pick, Wilbur?
I'm writing about Moby Dick, about this big old whale. Bet he's even bigger than your monster, Mr. Meade. He's... Thought we weren't going to talk about monsters anymore. Oh, yeah.
Well, it sounds very interesting, and I'll be most anxious to read it. Now, why don't you children run along, because I have so many papers to go over now.
Yeah, we got to go anyway. Bye, Mr. Meade. Don't worry, Mr. Meade. We just got to do something to help Mr. Meade. Yeah, you want to know what my father says? What? Some people want to bring in a new teacher from Midvale. And fire Mr. Meade? We just can't let that happen. You really think Mr. Meade saw a monster? I don't know. But you said inside that I was just trying to make him feel better. Hey, I got an idea. Oh, no. Why don't we build a monster? What good would that do? Well, if someone sees it, then people have to believe Mr. Meade. Yeah, but build it out of what? What about that old pipe boat Mr. Grokkins was building? Yeah, he'd have to down at King's Landing when he moved. I got some old chicken wire and some boards, and I got I can get some paint and nails and stuff like that. That's a good idea. Still don't see how come Trim gets to ride. I told you, if he comes home all muddy, Mom will make me give him another bath. Then why'd you bring him? What if we was attacked by some ferocious animal or something? Bet you'd run faster than any of us. Oh, yeah? You think Trap when he gets mean? I I mean really mean.
Only the time those scoops fell out of Mr. Barker's truck and his chickens got loose.
Hey, there it is. Yeah, come on. Let's see if it works. Boy, this is gonna work great. Let's clean it up. Yeah, and get some of this old junk out of the way. Look, it's got a hole in it. Yeah, but it's just a little hole. Still leaks, don't it? We don't want a leaky monster. I can fix it. There's a cork in one of those old cans. See? There. Why don't you and Catfish start unloading the wagon? Me and Tramp will stand watch, in case anybody comes. I got a better idea. Why don't you and Catfish unload the wagon and let me and Tramp stand watch? He's my dog. 'Cause that stuff's heavy and I'm a girl. That's why. Come on, Tramp. Girls sure got it made. Yeah, but I still don't think I want to be one. Building a monster sure is hard work. Yeah. Boy, it's gonna be getting dark soon. Yeah, we better get going. What's the matter, boy? Scott, Catfish, there's a boat coming this way. 2 men in it. Get down. What are we gonna do? We can't let them see our monster. Maybe we can hide it. Get out.
Dumbhead, this ain't where we turn in. It's the next cove ahead.
Oh, you've seen one cove, you've seen them all.
It would be nice if you'd remember where we put the loot.
Did you hear what they said? Bet you it's money. They're probably bank robbers, that's what. Wonder where they got the money hid. It's gotta be up at the old Grogan shack. How do you know? Because that's near the cove, and that's where they were going. That's how come. Think we ought to tell Sheriff Wiley? I don't know. Yeah, he's still kind of mad about that time we told him we seen that flying saucer, you know, over near Hatch's cornfield? Yeah, and it was nothing but Mr. Hatch's new chicken brooder. Come on, let's put our stuff away so we can get on home. Bet you if we had proof he'd listen to us. How are we gonna get proof? We could go to the old shack and find some. That's how. Can't. Why? 'Cause, I got a violin lesson and I can't be late. That's why. Maybe you don't want the reward. Reward? If they're crooks, there's gotta be a reward for them. Yeah, I never thought of that. Come on, it's on the way home anyhow. What's that? Just an owl. Oh. You know, maybe the man wasn't too suspicious. No, you're just scared. I'm not. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe they're not bank robbers. That's what we gotta find out. Yeah, so we can get the reward. Well, we have to go. At least we can take a shortcut. It's this way. Why don't you go first, Catfish? How come? It's your shortcut. Hey, it's moving! Whoa, do you hear us? It ain't only moving, it's swimming, and it's got eyes. It's an alligator, Dopey. Come on, get out of there. Why do I always have to go first? Good thing it was sleeping. I think we ought to go back. But we're almost there. Come on, Tramp. Let's go this way. There's the boat those men came in. Yeah, come on. Come on. There's a light on. Yeah, and them men are probably still there. Maybe we ought to go back. Boy, Catfish, sometimes you act like a real weirdo. Why? 'Cause we came here to investigate. Yeah, and we can investigate better if we can see what they're doing. Can't we? Yeah. Who's gonna go up there and look? This time somebody else is gonna go first. All right, I'll go. Just keep Tramp quiet.
Wow, Harry, these shipments are getting bigger and bigger all the time.
Yeah, but everything looks nice and neat. Just exactly the way the boss likes to see him.
Ain't it about time he's getting here?
Oh, yeah, we better go meet him. Yeah.
Harry. Listen, listen. You hear anything?
There's nothing around here but mosquitoes and rats. Now put that thing away. Come on, let's go.
That was close. Yeah. Boy, Scott, bet you were scared. Nah. Boy, I was. What'd you see? They got a secret trap door in there. That's probably where the money's hid. Come on. Trap door's hid under here. How are we gonna see? Here's a candle. Here. Tramp, stay here as lookout. Good idea. I'll stay up here with him. Come on, Catfish. If it's money, bet you it's more than $1 billion. Yeah, let's take a look. What is it? Just looks like a bunch of old junk. Most of them are busted. They gotta be worth something. Else why would they hide them down here? I don't know. Somebody's coming! Quick, jump, Brad! Hurry up, Scott! Scott, the blanket! Behind the box.
Light the lamp, will you, Tiny? Everything went real smooth. Better watch your step.
The stuff is stashed away over there in the corner.
There you go, boss. Yeah.
I still don't see what that monster the man said he seen has got to do with us.
Well, the boss don't want no tourists and newspaper reporters snooping around the cove, especially with a new shipment coming in. Besides, the boss thinks it might have been us the old man saw and not a monster.
Ain't that right, boss?
Right. Okay.
We'll take you up to the point in the boat, boss. We'll hang around here and keep our eyes on things until we hear from you.
I can think of a lot of places I'd rather be hanging around.
Let's get out of here. Yeah, now we gotta tell Sheriff Wiley. Come on.
Hey, dumbhead, you lock the door?
There's a window. Coast is clear. Honest.
Yeah, they locked us in there. We had to climb out the window.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they came here in that flying saucer that landed out at Hatch's cornfield, huh?
But this is different. Yeah, one of them even had a gun.
You saw a gun? All right, exactly where is this old shack?
Near Groggin's pond.
Well, the old Bracken place was sold at auction about 2 years ago. Now, let's see here. Man who has legal title to that land is Mayor Hathaway. It also says here that land is posted.
We didn't see any posts.
Posted means anybody who goes on that property without permission is breaking the law.
Then you can arrest him for that. Yeah.
You know, if those men are out there, they are not the only ones who broke the law.
But we was just investigating them. Yeah.
Well, I'll talk to the mayor, and I'll drop out to the Groggin's place when I get around to it.
Maybe we can go with you. Yeah, can we, Sheriff, please?
Look, all I want you three to do is go home, get to bed, and stay away from posted property. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Sheriff. Come on, Sheriff.
Just a bunch of kids letting their imagination run away with them.
Yeah, I suppose so. Still, can't do any harm to check into their story.
Yes, Mrs. Pringle, I do know why you formed this committee. Henry and I have already discussed the matter.
Mr. Meade, I understand you haven't retracted your story about seeing a sea monster.
No, Mrs. Pringle, I have not, and I have no intention of so doing.
Mayor Hathaway, all of us here are bedrock citizens. As you well know, my family goes back for 7 generations.
Yes, ma'am. I am very aware of that. Now, are there any other items that any of the rest of you might care to bring up?
Yes, George. I would like to ask a question. What if this story about a sea monster were to leak out to the newspapers upstate?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand the point you're trying to make.
Well, isn't it obvious? Now, if we were...
We here are all very proud of our town. Its historic quaintness could be destroyed overnight if the newspapers were to play this thing up. Tourists from everywhere would come flooding in here in the hopes of seeing what is simply a figment of Mr. Meade's highly active imagination.
I have tried to convince all of you that this is not a figment of my imagination, and I will risk my professional standing on that statement.
Mrs. Pringle, just what do you and the other members of the committee suggest I do about this situation?
Speak to the school superintendent. Have Henry Meade replaced.
Hey, Tiny! That window was closed when we left here, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought it was. Maybe somebody busted in.
Uh-oh. We better check before we tell the boss. You got the keys?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Henry. Perhaps I shouldn't have asked you to come here.
Well, I'm glad you did. At least now I know where I stand.
Well, good evening, Frank.
Evening, Josh.
What can I do for you?
Well, there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Come on in. Right in here.
Thank you. It's about that property you own. The old Groggin's place.
Oh, yes?
Well, some kids claim they saw a couple of strangers hanging around down there. Said they hid some boxes down in the cellar underneath the old shack.
Boxes?
Mm-hmm.
Boxes of what?
Well, they weren't too clear on that point.
Sit down, Frank.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I don't mind the kids going out to the old place, but their story sounds kind of far-fetched to me.
Well, that's what I thought, too.
You know, I've never even been in that old shack. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about tearing it down. It's quite an eyesore, you know.
Well, just to be on the safe side, maybe we ought to go on down there and take a look around.
All right, Frank, but not tonight. I'll have to look around and see if I still have a key. How about tomorrow morning?
Suppose I pick you up around 10 o'clock?
Be fine.
Sorry I disturbed you, George.
No, not at all.
Good night now.
Good night, Frank. Yes, speaking. Well, I suggest you get busy on it right away. I really don't think there's any need for that gun, Frank.
Well, I figured there was no use in taking any chances, you know. Now, according to the kids, the cellar should be underneath this blanket.
All right, let's take a look.
Uh-huh. Well, they were right about that much anyway.
I still think this whole thing's a bunch of poppycock.
Yeah, it could be. I'm really sorry I had to drag you down here like this, George.
Well?
Yeah. Here, the box is all right. Huh. So this is what those kids were talking about. I'll certainly have a little something to say to them.
Well, it might be a good idea to keep them away from here, Frank. But I wouldn't be too hard on them. After all, there's no harm done.
Well, I just don't like being made a fool of. Good morning, Henry.
Frank.
I'd like to speak to the Durden kids and to Wilbur Merkins, please.
Anything wrong?
You might say that.
Scott? Tippy? Wilbur? I'll leave you alone.
Thank you, Henry.
Hi, Sheriff. Did you catch him?
The only thing I caught was a headache brought on by 3 kids who keep poking their noses into places where they don't belong.
Did you even see him?
Wasn't a sign of anybody living in that shack for years.
What about the stuff in the cellar?
Junk? Wasn't worth a nickel.
Well, we thought it might be worth something.
All right, I am going to tell you 3 something right now. I want you to steer clear of posted land, or I am going to speak to your folks.
We already told them.
And what did they say?
They said not to do anything that'll make you mad at us. I guess they didn't believe us either.
All right, now you just remember what I said. You stay away from that place.
Guess he's mad anyhow. You know, we started out to help Mr. Meade and forgot all about it. Just because of them men we see. Nobody believes we seen him anyways. We gotta finish building the monster. We can go back right after school. Pull! Pull it! Harder! Ow! Is that hard enough? Here, give me your hand. The neck looks real good. But the back's too high. Here, snip that part off. Tippy, give me another gunny set. to see it? I don't know. But it's got to be somebody besides Mr. Meade, or they still won't believe him. I know, Mrs. Pringle. Yeah. Only, how will y'all let him know about a monster? Can't tell him. I don't know. Hey, I know how we can do it. Come on. Come on, Tramp. Come on, boy.
Tell his old guy. Pranksters.
If you want proof about the monster, come to Strawberry Cove tomorrow morning. Your friend. Ah.
Sure you got a good monster noise on the recorder? Yeah, took it off an old Wolfman movie that was on TV last night. Be sure to play it loud so Mr. Meade and Mrs. Pringle can hear it. We gotta go before they get here. Come on, let's go. Come on, Catfish, start pedaling. Hey, lights on. A window, so we can see where we're going. Wait a minute. I'll just push this stuff away so you can see. There, is that better? Still can't see. Just go where I tell you. Turn all the way. Look out! Turn left. Okay, now just keep going straight. Turn left. Catfish is steering crookedy. I am not. Okay, now just keep going straight. That's what I'm trying to do. Watch out! Here, let me steer, Catfish. Oh. I was doing okay. Oh, yeah, you nearly got us wrecked. See how straight we're going now?
John.
Henry, sure seems steamed up about something.
I saw it again this morning.
You mean your monster?
That's right.
Well, what's it look like?
Well, it was sort of misty on the cove again. But this time, I took pictures of it. And I've got those pictures right here in the camera. And I'm going to be able to describe it to you better when I get these pictures developed. And I can study them. I'm going to do that right now.
Oh, no, wait. Whoa.
Yes.
Now, the camera store doesn't open for another hour or so. You know how Houston likes to sleep in, right?
Well, let's see. I'll run an errand. Then I'll go to my room and I'll wait till he opens, right?
Yeah. Oh, Henry, I'd like to see those pictures after they're developed.
All right.
Then I suppose everybody in town would, huh?
Well, they're going to get a chance to, because I'm going to take these pictures to the newspaper office and see if they can put them in tonight's edition, right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Tony.
Hold it! What do you think we ought to do with the monster now? Maybe we can sell it. Sell it? Yeah, to a circus or something. Then everybody know we done. I don't think we better do anything with it yet. What? What if Mr. Meade and Miss Pringle never saw it? I mean, maybe they didn't come. Oh, yeah. We better find out. Maybe if we went to the town to... Hey, listen! It's a boat. Yeah, and it sounds like it's getting closer. It's those same two men. Wonder where they're going this time. Probably to that old shed. How do you know? Because that's the only place the Creek goes. Think we ought to follow him? I don't know. Maybe Sheriff Wiley said. All he said was not to go on posted land. Yeah, let's go.
And this exciting tale of mystery concludes next week in the wonderful world of Disney. And kids, keep an eye out for the return of the Muppet Babies later this week. You won't believe the mischief they get up to. It's delightful animated entertainment. The Muppet Babies, returning Wednesday afternoon at 4:30 to NBN.